I've been your sheriff for 4 years, and each year we've been engaged in this sort of activity, and so we've learned a lot. One of the things I learned right away is that we want to have good relationships with these folks, and I can tell you that we've worked with this team before. The relationships are really great. We're in constant communication with them, using their expertise, both wildland and structure protection, as far as advice regards to your safety and the safety of your homes. And so we meet regularly, and we're in communication throughout the day so that we can make good decisions on these evacuation zones. And so that's what I'm here to talk a little bit about tonight. I'll run through these real quick, but I think most of you know it, and there's not a lot of detail on this map. But you know that we have homes that are in a level 3 here and here. And that happened early on, obviously, when the fire was real active. And then on the south side of the highway, these are all level 1s. And the only thing new today was that Lynn County installed a level 1 up here, and that's largely a really popular recreation area. And while the fire is a little ways away from there yet, the idea is that we don't want folks who are coming from out of state planning on recreating in that area to come later potentially to have to be evacuated. So that level 1 was initiated today. Let's talk a little bit about what those zones mean. You folks probably know this, but I think we've got slides. Level 1, of course, is really where we want any of you who live up here to be all the time. You live in a wildland urban interface, and it means that you're aware of that fact. And I think probably everybody who's lived up here for the last few years is quite aware of that fact. But we do want you to be thoughtful about these things throughout the year, and know that you have to have a little higher level of awareness. Level 2 is really when we want you to have your car packed. Honestly, you should have a bag packed. You should know where your prescriptions are, your important papers. You should have a plan for your pets. You don't want to be making a decision about what to do for your pets when we hit a level 3. So have some intentionality and purpose in that, and make sure you have a plan for your pets. At a level 2, if you've got family members or if you have concerns about your mobility or ability to relocate, it's probably time to be having a thought about that. You know, if somebody's confined to a bed and is going to need some assistance, then at a level 2, you'd probably be thinking about moving them out of the area. And I don't know that it's particularly relevant in this moment, but at level 2, if you got a bunch of livestock, we've got some folks here from particularly the east side of the state where all of a sudden they're needing to move a bunch of livestock. So at level 2, you ought to be thinking about those things too. For our Lane County Sheriff's Office, when we have a level 2, we are going to come up and knock on your door. We're going to use all our tools. You know, we have a number of different tools to alert you. At a level 2, we're going to use almost all of our tools. We won't necessarily make everybody's phone scream, but we will have teams of volunteers come up, and we come up and knock on your door, tell you that you're in a level 2, give you some information, receive some information from you if you are going to have some issues or need some assistance to move out. And so we do a little bit of data collection at a level 2. At a level 3, when we go to a level 3, if it's safe for us, we're going to send folks back to your door. But as anybody that was up here in 2020 knows, that's not always possible. 2020, we had folks going in, some of my folks going into some areas that just frankly they probably shouldn't have. So what we always say is at a level 2, we may not be able to come back to your door. So we really, at a level 2, if you don't choose, I'm just going to go ahead and leave now, you really got to be paying attention to all the different sources of information. And then a level 3, of course, is go now. Grab your bag that you've already packed at a level 2, grab your pets, and head out. I want you to know that when we make these decisions, I've been up here regularly because I feel the responsibility for these decisions, and I know what it means to be telling you to leave your house. And that's a pretty big deal. It's a real big deal to me, and these guys that meet with me all the time, they know that it's a big deal to me. And so I just want you to know that I take that responsibility very, very, it weighs heavy on me, frankly, and I want you to know that I take it real seriously. A little bit more about how we make those decisions. So I already shared that they tell us their expertise, they give us access to their fire behavior analyst and all those things. And then some of the factors we take into account are density of population in an area. So we've pre-planned, okay, if the fire does this, then this zone maybe needs to be increased. Well, how many homes are in that zone? How many people are in that zone? How long will it take us to get to every door in that zone? We take all of those factors. Obviously, weather is a factor, so when the winds are really blowing and it moves faster, then we're going to move faster. When it dies down a little bit, then we have a little more time. And then one other factor, you heard one of the ops chiefs talking about backburn, and so you know that sometimes they really do fight fire with fire. So they let us know about that, and so you may be in a zone that's elevated because we know that they intend to do some burning in that area. So that is what's going on there. A couple of questions that we've heard. One is, when you are asked to evacuate, where are you supposed to go? Currently, the Red Cross is set up at the Lowell High School. I know that's not super convenient for y'all. The Belknap fire has been on the landscape longer than Lookout, and so those preparations were already in place. Red Cross has limited staff, so rather than opening up 2 shelters, they opened 1 and asked us to send folks there. Now, I also know that the Red Cross is trying to make a longer time frame plan, because school's going to be in session in not too long, and Lowell High School is going to want to use their school. So keep your ears open for a future change, but if something were to happen right now, the Red Cross has that shelter open. We also have the livestock arena down in Eugene open for livestock and or pets. There's a ton of information for you available at the county website, so lanecountyor.gov. It's a yellow banner at the top with all the fire stuff. Click on that. There's a lot of information about resources for you. There's a searchable, you can search your address. If you're not sure what zone you're in, it'll tell you. And then also, if you're not signed up for the county's new alert system, lanealerts.org is where you want to sign up, but you can find that at the county website also. I think I kind of covered it. One of the other questions I was preloaded with is this idea that we have a 3 and a 1 and no 2s. And I guess our brains are kind of designed where we want things to be sequential like that. But in this particular case, as we've consulted with these folks, we've got the highway, we've got all the implements. I got to tell you, they've worked hard on that southern line. They've been working hard on that for a few days. And so as we've consulted with them, there just hasn't been a reason to put south side of the highway on a level 2. We're going to continue to talk to them. If the weather changes, if something changes, we'll do it. But I guess I just want you to know, of course, we're thinking about that. I think sometimes people look at the map and think, oh, they must have messed up. There's no 2 on there. But that's not the case in this case. And then I also know those of you that are in a level 3 want to know, well, what's it take for that 3 to get back to a 2? And again, that's going to be a combination of all the factors I've already talked about. We're going to continue to talk to these experts when they're real strongly comfort on their southern edge line, when they're real comfortable on what the fire behavior and weather is going to do, then they know that I want to put you back in a 2 as soon as I can, but also I'm certainly not going to risk anybody's life safety either. So I'm going to check my notes real quick and make sure I hit what I thought I was supposed to. And I think I did. I'll be around later if you have any questions. Thanks.